Hi, how are you?
I'm good, Yash. How are you doing?
I'm also amazing. So, how's the day first?
Hectic man, but can't complain. Energized about it.
Yeah. So, firstly, congratulations on the funding. I had a question. So, in the last 1 year, I've actually spoken to a lot of founders building in Web3 and a lot of AI products. And I feel like there's this race going on about valuation where people are not really building, well, I won't say cash positive, but like people are not chasing revenue, but more of valuation. So, I wanted to get your perspective because, firstly, you are building a cash positive business, and secondly, funding. So, an advice to these developers, the young developers that are building, well, new protocols day by day. So, yeah.
I think two very simple things. One thing that we should always keep in mind is the speed at which technology is evolving, right? What used to take 2 years in the past is probably taking 2 months, right? Every new release of an OpenAI or an Anthropic just completely throws apart so many business models, it's unimaginable, right? Which is why a lot of this race around valuation kind of comes in, because you want to just chase the best valuation, get some cash out of that and get done with it, right? I don't think that creates fundamentally sound businesses. What creates a fundamentally sound business is zooming out and saying, if all these logics were recreated tomorrow by a Claude or an GPT, what is still my moat to actually be able to hold the product on its own, right? I think that's the mindset which you need to evaluate as a founder. It is not just about what you're building today, but the fact that what is your moat which stays with you even with the kind of developments in technology that we're seeing.
Yeah, actually, like you said, there's technology scaling very fast, and I think the developers are also building like day by day in and day night. But do you think with this speed, trust is something that is lagging behind because developers? I mean, I don't want to say for everybody, but I think developers are camera shy. And do you think in this AI world, you have to bring yourself out, you have to talk to people, you have to talk to these adopters? Do you think them building trust can happen through them, being in front of the camera or actually talking to their audiences?
I mean, absolutely. See, the more you talk about your product, the more trust you build, the credibility that you build, right? But let's also accept a reality that nobody knows how the future will look like 2 months or 6 months down the line. Not even a Sam Altman would do, right? Everybody is chasing AGI. Nobody has a timeline of when that AGI gets achieved. And it is important to embrace that uncertainty. Acknowledge that the fact that things will evolve. How am I prepared for that? Not deterministically, but at a conceptual level, what am I doing that still sets me apart from the way technology is evolving? I think those are the fundamental questions that people need to address, is what I feel.
Well, what is your take on AI filmmaking? I mean, like, I'm just asking for me, like, what is your take on AI filmmaking?
I think originality is not something that, at least until we probably hit AGI, originality is not what's going to come in, right? So if you're creating a Me Too product, it will always be the case, right? You will always be one step behind than a fundamental model which will be able to do a better job than what you're doing, right? And that's where originality of ideas really starts coming in, and that's what kind of segregates the good from the great, because the great people, even when it comes to filmmaking, are the ones who created original ideas.
Yeah, of course. You come from a Blinkit background. So I think we are all aware about the cultural marketing that Zomato, Blinkit, and all these quick commerce have done in the last 2 years. And then now you're building a AI first company. So why did you choose us humans for this launch product? The announcement, yeah.
Exactly the same point that I said, Yash. It's about originality. Yeah, you can use a Sora, which by the way is being shut down. So yeah. So I mean, you can always do that, right? But I think to me there is fundamentally a level of ingenuity, originality that a human brings on the table, and that is what this is all about. This is not about creating a Me Too product. That is not what I am trying to create, right? Which is why I believe that I can use Cursor to enable a lot of these things for me, or any other tool to enable a lot of those things. But how do they get contextualized and how do they get presented is a layer that humans are still thinking about, right? I think that equally applies to filmmaking, and that's why we chose to work with you and not Sora.
Second last question. Which one's your favorite LLM?
I think right now, Claude probably by a good yard.
Lovely. And lastly, I mean, we are already announcing the funding. So what's our vision 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line?
Yeah, I think it's about zooming out and seeing what are the next set of problems that you're solving for a customer, right? It is very easy to kind of pigeonhole yourself and saying, this is what I do and I'll just keep getting better at doing that. But the broader question that you're saying, trying to answer is, if I solve this problem, are there 5 other new questions that come on the table and how do I solve for those? I think that's the mindset that we want to stay. It's about, like, I think the statement which came from Jobs, stay hungry, stay foolish. I think that's very important, right? You're always hungry to solve more problems. That's the mindset.
And last question, definitely. So, is there any message to young developers? I mean, when I talk to developers, they're like, market kharab hai, they're like, or they're not getting the right jobs. So, is there any message that you would like you are always looking for great talent. So, what is that talent and what are you looking at? And in this market, what is something that will set them apart?
I think what sets them apart, see, historically, if you could write code, people valued you, right? Today, Cursor can write code for you. What is truly valuable today is can you think systems? Can you think architecture? I think that's a higher order problem, and I think that is what people look for today rather than just like basic coding skills.
Thank you so much, and
Perfect.
wish you luck for your journey.
Thanks a lot, Yash.
Yeah.
Great speaking to you.